so it looks like we have this equation, and we are solving that for x. Let's see, so there's a couple of things I could do, but I think what I would do first is this. And that's just going to clear the fraction and at least get that x up out of the denominator where I can get at it. So I think that seems like a pretty good first step when you have fractions, is to get rid of the fractions. So on this side, this is great because now that's just a 10. And then over here, I would have this, I'll distribute the y through, so I'm just going to do that. So 7 times y for 7y right here, and then minus xy. Okay, and then here's the spot where I think this gets a little tricky, is the thing that we're solving for has a negative on it, which if you save that till the end, it just really messes people up. And so here's where you could do, like, I can think of it 3 or 4 different ways to go, but here's one that I think will make it fairly straightforward. I'm going to bring this x over to this side, and I'm going to bring the 10 over to this side. It's just going to give me a positive x. And I usually, if I have to get a variable by itself like this, I try to solve in the direction that gives me the positive version of that variable, because it is almost always easier than trying to divide out the negative at the end. And then if you didn't like solving it to the right, you could also rewrite the 10 on this side and solve it to the left. So it's all really the same thing. But just, I think this will make it seem easier. So let me try that. So I'm going to add that 10 plus xy over here, and then that cancels. And then I'm going to subtract the 10, and so then coming down to this line, I would have y with a minus 10 on this side equals xy. So again, I'm just bringing this over and that over. And then what it does is it makes it really easy for me to divide out. I'm solving for x, yeah. Boom, I can just divide the y now. And I don't have the weird negative sign that kind of, like, what should you do with that? How do you simplify it? If I did, I'll show you what it would look like over here. So say I just went from here. So I could totally subtract that 7y over, and I would have negative xy equals 10 minus 7y. And then when I divide out the negative y, I get this thing, which isn't great because we have a negative in the denominator, and we don't love that. And so then what you would do to clean that up is to multiply it by 1, because we could always multiply something by 1, but in this case we'd multiply it by -1 over -1. And this is solved for x. It's just not in the ideal form because of that negative. But so then that would give me -10 plus 7y over y, which is the exact same thing I have here, just written in the opposite direction. So again, a couple different ways to get there. For me personally, I prefer to get that variable positive just because I don't like this messy, weird divide out the negative at the end. So hopefully that helps.